Got it.
Sunny, Goode. Welcome to the Empower Network TV.
Thank you for having me, Amos.
This is going to be fun because we're talking about wrapping the world in love, metaphorically and literally. So let's first talk about, if you're okay, can we talk about briefly what you do, and then we're going to go back and tell the story of how we got here.
Okay.
Does that work?
So currently what we do is when a baby's born in Richmond, Virginia, in every single hospital, the babies are, and the families are given a love swaddle at birth, along with a card that teaches them the power of words and teaches them, it has a little graphic of how to swaddle your baby. And on the reverse side are the 10 signs of a healthy relationship. So we are reintroducing the 10 signs of a healthy relationship to new families when everything changes. So every relationship changes. When you have a baby, your relationship with yourself changes. So a baby's born, but a mother's born and a father's born.
Oh, that's
profound. No one really honors that shift in all of these relationships. You know, have a baby, go home and figure it out. And we're saying, stop for a minute and think about this shift and think about these 10 signs with this beautiful visual cue. Here's the love swaddle. And go home and wrap your baby in it and use this as a visual reminder to that emotional experience of having a baby.
Okay, I'm just going to regurgitate what you said because that's so good. We have to say, so when a baby is born, a father's born, a mother's born. And so you give them this swaddle, these things you're designing, and then a card that has the 10 healthy signs of 10 signs of a healthy relationship.
A healthy relationship. Yeah.
Wow. Why are you doing this?
Okay, why am I doing this? You ready? This is the best. So according to the ACE scores, so adverse childhood experience, the single most preventative, the single most, hold on a second, the single most preventative cause of mental illness is childhood trauma. Right. The single most preventable cause of mental illness is childhood trauma. So what are we always talking about right now is mental illness, correct? At the same time, so we're working kind of on two things, but the other most important thing that we're working on is when we, at the roots of our society, when people are having babies, when a baby is brought into the world, then if we have very, very positive actions at home, then we have less childhood trauma, and therefore we have less domestic violence. Domestic violence is a learned behavior. In our society, in our country, we spend over $428 billion annually on the ripple effects of childhood trauma.
428 billion annually? That's in the States?
In the States.
428 billion on childhood trauma, the effects of childhood trauma. Wow.
So I was on a World Health Organization call during the pandemic when I came up with this whole idea, and they were talking about domestic violence being a global pandemic. I know we all are tired of the word pandemic, but domestic violence is a global pandemic. It's a global pandemic in every country. 1 out of 3 are in a domestic violent relationship. So what the World Health Organization was talking about was how to denormalize domestic violence.
Okay.
So when someone's in a bad relationship, the first person they confide to is a nurse or a doctor. So the nurse or the doctor, if they themselves are in a bad relationship, then they normalize it to the person confiding in them.
And 1 in 3 are.
1 in 3 are.
Do they play it down?
What?
They'll play it down because it's normal for them.
Correct. And it's not only men against women, it's women against men.
Yeah.
Something we never talk about, ever, really. but it's like 43% of domestic violence is women against men.
Wow. I never would have guessed 43%. That's almost half.
That's almost half. So it's almost 50-50. And so I like during this research, I was coming up with all of this stuff and I was like, whoa. So what I recognized in these big conferences that I was watching and listening to these top doctors was that no one talked about stopping this at the roots. So I paint trees. Like I'm an artist. I've always painted these beautiful tree paintings. It's just part of, I think trees are just our life, our oxygen, our soul. They are connected underground. They're giving us literal oxygen. So trees are really amazing to me. And I always think about the roots of how to cure. I'm a backwards thinker in a way. Just I think it's the art part of me, but I go backwards and I think, how do you solve this problem and where is this problem starting? And it's the roots. It's when a baby's born.
Yes.
So then my solution was, hey, let's wrap babies in love and let's reteach everyone what a healthy relationship is. And let's teach them to have that relationship with themselves and then with their partners and then with their child.
Okay. Can we take the quiz? Because you said on these cards are 10 indicators of a healthy relationship.
Oh, I knew you were going to do this to me, right? I know, right? Oh my gosh, what are the 10 signs of a healthy relationship?
Yeah. Do you have a card handy or where do you keep
You hang on. I'm gonna get I don't have a card handy, but I'm gonna pull it up because I've got the I've got
these
it.
are cool glasses.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
They are it's so funny. They're like the Oprah version of Amazon glasses. But so if you Google Amazon Oprah glasses, these come up. So the 10 signs of a healthy relationship. And we use the ones from the One Love Foundation. And the One Love Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was formed a month after. Do you remember when Yardley Love was killed at UVA by a former boyfriend? It's a lacrosse situation. Anyway, her family started this foundation and they've educated over, I don't know if it's 2 million now, it might be 3 million students around the country on healthy relationships, primarily in college and in high school. I'm kind of pulling them down to the very bottom into the roots. And that's the basis of basically our work with the Love Swaddle. So the number one sign is to trust, right? If you got to trust yourself. You got to trust the people that you are with, right? Honesty.
So how much do you trust yourself in the relationship? How much are you trusting your partner? How much are they trusting you? Number two is honesty. So how honest are you being with yourself and with them? How honest are they being with you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Honesty is hard. I mean, it's not hard, but it's just, you got to be honest with yourself. Like we all have a really good side and we also have a bad side. Like that's part of life. No one's all good.
Yes,
all the time,
yeah,
right?
That's true.
And so you can say, oh gosh, this is the worst part of me. Like this is my worst trigger. When something like my car broke down this week and I was like, this is a total trigger for me. Like I have to deal with like getting a car fixed by myself, which is not fun, So and it's just a pain. Like you just are reliant on something that I'm not a mechanic. I know nothing about cars, so I'm stuck. Independence. So I think doing things on your own, trusting yourself to go do, allowing your spouse or your significant other to go do things on their own, to have an independent life, to not be codependent, to teach your child to have independence, right? When they can, when they're old enough. respect is huge. So that's number 4.
Mhm.
Mutual respect for decisions that are being made. You've got to respect the person that you're in the relationship with. What are you thinking? Look at that smile.
Well, because it's like it's so easy to it's easy for me to rattle them back to you and go, okay, you said this, I said, but when push comes to shove, like you said, when I'm triggered, and I have less triggers now than I did, thank God, 10 years ago. But like even today, it's like, when I'm triggered and I there's a tape that I don't know why there's a spoon on my desk. There's a freaking plastic spoon, and I keep picking it up. Anyway, but like you triggered, and then I feel it. And there's like a tape, and there's chemicals and emotions, and it's going through your body, and then it's like, oh, and then I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. So it's like these are not easy, Sunny. Just to, I'm going to be patient now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I know, right? Like, well, we all have we all have the other side of that. Like whatever the thing is, it's everyone has triggers, and one of these is gonna trigger someone at some point.
Yeah.
Right. Equality in the relationship is extremely important.
Does equality mean like fair? Does that mean like, are we being fair? Like, are we being equitable? Are we being even?
I would say being equitable.
Yeah.
It's not, hey, you know what, I'm gonna get up and feed the baby half the time, or finding what is equal, whatever that is, talking about it. Hey, you know what, you're gonna go on a jog every Saturday morning, and I am going to wake up with a baby, so you can go do that. But then in the afternoon, when I want to go for a walk, you're going to hang out with baby so I can go for a walk.
It just brings me back to what you said. When a baby's born, a mother's born and a father's born, and no one talks about that. When I became a dad, it's like, here you go. You're excited. You're a little scared. You're nervous. Now you got this little lump of flesh that you innately care about and you're very responsible for, or at least even if you're not acting like it, you should be.
Right.
And it's like, it can't do anything. It's glued to mama, except when she needs a break. And you just like look at it. And it's all this potentiality in this 8 pounds of flesh.
Exactly. Right. And no one tells you, like, you don't know till you know. You don't know till it happens. It's one of those things that you don't know till you know. People can tell you all day long what it's going to be like, and you don't know.
Do you ever get comments on your swaddles from parents that, because you guys have placed these in Richmond, Virginia, is it?
In Richmond, Virginia, yeah.
So when the parents go home with these swaddles, the newborn parents, and that's a fun pun. That's a fun pun. I just did 2 of them. The newborn parents who just became newborn parents themselves, and they have a newborn and their parents. That's funny. Anyway, in my mind, did they get the card from you? And it's like, do they ever contact you and say anything like, this impacted us?
Yeah, we get emails. We get emails from families. I mean, they're in such a blur when they leave the hospital. They've had a baby, like their whole life is completely changed. They've got a lot of papers, they've got things to keep track of, things to remember. We get emails that say, thank you so much for doing this. We love what you're doing. We love that someone's addressing this. And sometimes we get emails from the hospital, like they get it in the hospital and they'll go on our website and message us.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very big, and to date in Richmond, we've wrapped over 30,000 babies.
That's amazing. It's like presents, because they are.
It's every single it's a great message that the healthcare. So every single baby in Richmond gets the same thing, the same swaddle. So it's a place that's it's a unification. We've unified this message at birth in our town, and we're getting ready to go national with it. So we've signed a contract with a national healthcare manufacturer distribution company. And we're going to our first women's health national trade show in June to share this mission with other states. Love heals. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And this message gives new families a lot of hope. So I, in 2020, when I took the first baby swaddle to the first hospital, and the CNO, the head nurse, had been there for 23 years. And I sat down with her, masked up, we were all in masks. It was crazy. I couldn't even believe I got a meeting in the hospital. Like that in itself was very meant to be, I guess. And it's very serendipitous. So I show her my little rudimentary presentation because everything was closed. I mean, I think I printed it off tried to print off this color copy thing to make it look as professional as possible. Yeah, look, I still have it. One day I'll show it to you. You'll laugh. You'll be like, you took that in for a presentation and you sold something. In the minute, we were in the conversation for 4 minutes, and she said, we'll find a way to do this. It's very needed. And she had been in this space for 23 years. And what she said was, there are teenagers having babies in this hospital. There are babies whose first words they hear are shut up. And we have this image that we sort of hope or have been sold throughout our lifetime that the maternity ward is just like joy. And it is joy for a lot of people, but there are people where it's not joy. And we have got to get to everybody and give them love at birth. I mean, it's like a necessity. It's a 911 emergency. And for me, it's this needed to be happening yesterday. And for me, I won't stop until every baby in this country gets this at birth.
Beautiful. Well, I'm glad you're here telling your story and your why, because it's beautiful. Lovely to hear someone's championing this call, because those little 8 whatever to 11 pound or 6 to 11 pound bundles, they're the sweetest little thing. Oh my God.
They're just amazing, right?
Yeah. You just want to suck on their cheeks, like seriously.
Yeah. So during all of this, the World Health Organization created the 4th trimester. Have you heard about the 4th trimester? So it's the first 4 weeks that you're home with your baby. So it's during the postpartum period, but they've coined it the 4th trimester, and to give families as much support as possible, because everything's great in the hospital, like you're like, oh my gosh. And then you get home and you're like, wait, what do I do now? Right? What do I do with this baby? We have this tiny baby. And if you've never had a baby before, if it's your first baby, you don't know what to do with your baby. I mean, not to harm it, but you also don't know quickly how to integrate that new life into your life. So, yeah, the ripple effects of it are really big.
Everyone's having flashbacks who was watching this, whenever they're watching it, of if they have a child or if they have a grandchild.
Yeah.
And right now, my daughter, I got a couple pictures of, she was, anyway, I'm sure everyone remembers when their little bundle was wrapped up and it's like, here you go. And it's like, your world's changed forever, and you're changed forever.
How old is your daughter now?
Almost 22.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So,
I've got 26, 24, and 21.
Okay. Congrats. Thrice times. Yeah. Okay. What is your website to order these little things for these?
So the website, so the name of the company is Love Evolve. It's LOVEVOLVE, Love and Evolve, but just one E.
Yeah.
So when I was doing the artwork, Love and Evolve have the same letters.
Evolve. Oh, yeah. Fine. Oh, so love is in evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so if we're evolving,
we're loving.
Oh, without being in the love flow. That's awesome.
And the reason why the company is Love Evolve is I think love is wonderful and love is love. But in order to really, truly love someone, then you give them that space to grow. And so to me, love is a verb, it's an action, and evolving is a really big part of that action.
Question.
Yes.
If you are not evolving as a person, are you loving yourself and are you loving those you're connected with?
My personal opinion is that when you love yourself, you grow.
Therefore, when you don't love yourself,
okay, so this is what I tell my kids. Like your life is like 80 inches on a yardstick or whatever. 80 inches measuring tape. And you just don't want to park anywhere. We don't want to park at 40 inches and not keep going, because so many great things happen after 40 inches. And so to take everything you've learned and to keep going, to keep growing in each of those inches. I mean, I personally have friends who parked when they went to college. Like they still, they're 55 and they're talking about college all the time. And I'm like, okay, hold on. That was, several years ago, and that's great. And college is great. And it's a great experience. But you just don't want to park anywhere. You can park somewhere for a little bit and enjoy, and not that you don't. Parking doesn't mean you're not happy, or that you're staying in just one happy place. To me, parking means you're really closed off. Like you're not moving anywhere. Your thoughts aren't moving. Your mind's not moving. You're not growing. So yeah, I think, in my opinion, evolving means you're loving yourself, you're loving the people around you, and you also to give them the space to evolve. Stand back and watch people grow.
Letting go of who they were, letting go of who they were yesterday, letting go of maybe even who you want them to be.
Well, and also accepting who they are and who you are each day. Each day you learn something new, and you might have a perspective shift, and you might have thoughts one way a couple of years ago or last week, and then someone see some quote or something, and you're like, oh, you know what, that makes sense. And it's like a light bulb for everybody. There's different light bulbs. I mean, I have a good friend who saw a bumper sticker that said life is not a dress rehearsal. And boy, that kicked him into gear. He was stuck. And he suddenly saw this bumper sticker on a car in front of him, and that unstuck him. That's pretty beautiful.
It kicked him into gear so we can go down the yardstick, take more inches, because like you said, we only got X amount of inches in life. And if we get stuck at back here, it's like we miss out on. I love the metaphors you're using. And you're wrapping babies in a great start, and parents, newborn parents, in a great start. So the website, is that the website.com? Is it
loveevolve.com is the website.
Love Evolve with one E, minus one E. Love LOV evolve.com. Okay.
That's the website. And we're growing. So we have a mission section on our site. We do other parts of life. We do some grief swaddles. That's a harder part. But we provide grief support, we provide relationship health support. And on the website, there's also fourth trimester, some postpartum support resources, and they're national resources, but they're great resources.
Mickey was just saying, Sunny, she would love to chat with you. Thank you for coming on today, Sunny. Thank you for your why.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. You're such a joy. Yetta texted me before, or voice messaged me. She's like, you're interviewing my friend today. So I'm like, awesome. So she didn't tell me anything about you, which I appreciate because I like to get surprised. Can you hold up your
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Vancouver, Canada. That is just
Oh,
beautiful.
no way. Yeah. Well, it's so beautiful on every baby, like all skin tones look so pretty. It's just when you see a baby wrapped in this, you're just like, what is that? It's kind of magic. And
I'm
and
gonna I'm gonna order one right now for my daughter, even though she's 22. I'm gonna give it to her on her birthday, but I never got her something like that when she was born. So I'm gonna order one as soon as we're done here.
well, and also we have large love blankets too. So we have the same pattern, but like in a large, like adult size, because people wanted an adult swaddle. So it's twice the size, which is really cool.
Is
But
that what's the fabric?
oh, so it is a organic cotton muslin. Can you see that? Like it's that super soft.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so and the blankets are same, different. What's the
How cute.
oh my God.
Wrapping babies in love so they can put their name and birthday on it. Um, the big blankets are the same organic
Okay.
cotton muslin.
Same thickness, so they're not you're not gonna sweat it. Yeah.
No, they're super lightweight. It's a really breathable
Okay.
cotton and it's
Okay.
super soft. But
What's
yeah.
is the blanket? How many inches or feet by how many inches?
So this one is 45 inches by 45 inches. So this is the swaddle, but
Okay.
it's a great nursing cover. It's a great stroller blanket. That's what the other thing we love is that it grows with the child. Like it stays with you from day one. I mean, this could go to college with somebody, right? The larger love blanket is twice the size. So it's 45 by 90.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a great wrap. And yeah, your daughter would love it.
Well, I'm gonna get one as soon as we hang up here. If
Oh,
you've been watching, listening to the Empower Network TV, you've been listening to Sunny Goode.
Goode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sunny Goode, tell us her beautiful story and her mission or why. Please connect with Sunny if anything of this resonates with you. Let her know what you appreciated. Sunny, I certainly appreciated you coming on today. I'm going to be thanking Yetta for bringing you to the Empower Network, and I'll be shooting you some links of your recording after, and just love that you're here.
Well, thank you for doing what you're doing and highlighting. It's amazing.
How long have you been here for in the group? A week, a day, or
Wow. Like a couple of days. Like I've
more?
been I am like super hyper focused on this. Well, and also we've had so much happening just with this national contract that I'm an artist, so
Yeah.
contracts are not my thing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we're thrilled you're here. I know some people are going to reach out to you, so just be aware some will be, wanting to connect with you after hearing your message of why you're doing this. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
No, just thank you so much. You're so easy to chat with, and I appreciate it. And it's really fun.
My pleasure. It's fun for me too.
All right.
Thanks, honey. Thanks everyone for watching.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.